So today what we're going to do is we're going to solve a system, two linear equations using inverse matrices. You could do it with 3 linear equations as well. The identity matrix. The n by n matrix has 1s on the main diagonal and 0s elsewhere. It's really just coming up with a 1. It's like multiplying by 1. If you're multiplying by the identity, it's like multiplying by 1. Don't think too much about the identity matrix. Okay? Inverse matrix. 2 n by n matrices are inverses of each other if their product is the identity. Okay? Basically, they're saying, if I have this and I multiply by its inverse, which is what? What do I get when I multiply anything by its inverse? What do I get? 1. Okay? Except what we're going to do is we're going to take matrices and multiply them by their inverses. I'm going to teach you how to get the inverse. So just know when you multiply a matrix by its inverse, it's going to really basically just be 1, or the identity matrix. Okay? Matrix of variables, we're going to set up a variable matrix. We're also going to set up a constant matrix, which we'll get to in a minute. It's not really that challenging. What I want you to write up here, though, because you will need this, is how to get the inverse. Have you seen anything to the -1? Have you seen that before? Okay. That just means you're finding the inverse of something. It is equal to 1 over AD minus CB. Looks a whole lot more complicated than it is. Don't panic. It's a negative B, negative C, A. This is how you find the inverse. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. Just want you to write it down. Don't worry. Okay? The original, remember your original, the letters are in this order. A, B, C, D. Okay, that's the original letters are in that order. So what's the difference here between the original and this matrix? What did they do? Just real quick and easy. What did we do? We had to switch what?
D and A.
Switch the position of D and A and change these to their negatives. Okay? Now let's practice it a little bit. All right, so down here. Find the inverse of A, then verify the result with your calculator. We're going to first just find the inverse here, and then we're going to do, not even going to do this one, so don't even go here. We're going to do this on the calculator. I'm going to change that one. Okay, so first of all, remember this is A, B, C, and D. Yeah? What I need to do is I need to do what it says here. So I'm going to set it up. I'm going to say, all right, the inverse equals, I'm going to write this down, 1 over AD minus CB, and I got to switch these places and switch these signs. So let's write that down, what we get. I'm going to wait with my denominator for right now. First, I'm going to switch the places here. So if I switch A and D, I'm going to have -3 and 5. And then I switch the signs of B and C, so I'm going to have +2 and -8. And then what I need to do down here is I need to multiply A and D. What is 5 times -3? -15 minus, multiply these two, what do you get? -16, but if I stick a -16 in there, it's going to be a what? +16. Oh, this one turns out so pretty. All I'm doing is following what it says here. No, it doesn't. This is just an easy one, okay? So, A to the -1 is equal to 1 over 1, which is 1, times this matrix. So basically, A to the -1 is just this. The inverse is just this. It will not always turn out so pretty. Okay, So here, this is like solving an equation. We have to solve for x using matrices. Now remember, I told you, let's say we had a problem like this. 2/3 x equals 4/5. Okay? What would we do to get rid of that fraction? We would multiply by its what? By its inverse. Same word, same thing as reciprocal. Correct? And then that would go away, and I would get x, whatever is my answer. It's the same thing you have to do here. You got to multiply by this inverse to both sides. Okay? So that's what we have to do. So the first thing we're going to do is remember that I got to find the inverse of, this is going to be A and this is going to be B. I got to find the inverse of A. Ready? Not for this. No. We're going to do, let's go. All right, so I find the inverse of A. So what I have to do is I have to do this, and I got to flip. Remember, change these positions. Just change those positions. 5 and 3. And then what do I do to these two? Change their sign. 2 and 7. And then down here, I multiply A and B, which is 15. Multiply these two. Right here, these two, minus 14. Oh, they're so pretty. Told you it wasn't going to be too bad. What do I get here? I get 1, don't I? A to the negative 1 is just equal to what I started with, because this is equal to 1, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
That equal to 1?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my inverse. That's my inverse. Okay. Where are you? Are you good with record that? Okay, so remember, when you finish this job, you have to multiply the inverse in the front times b, and then you'll get your x. Okay, we're going to set these up, and we're going to use the calculator to finish this off. There's more. Again, I need to solve for x and y, right? So if I multiply this by its inverse, it's going to go away, isn't it? But if I multiply this side by the inverse, I got to multiply this side by the inverse as well. And then I'll get my answers. Make sense? Yes.
So on a test, how do we know if we solve as a matrix or as a...
It'll tell you. Okay? All right. So now what I need to do is I need to multiply both sides. And we're going to do this with the calculator. Both sides by the inverse of A. Ready? It is. So I need to find the inverse of A. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. You can do it by hand. I don't care. But we could also do it on the calculator. So go to your matrix. I'm going to use B because I have something in A already. I'm going to use B. And I'm going to enter. It is a 2 by 2. Enter it, -2. Okay, while I'm here, I need to enter my other matrix. I'm going to be using that because I'm going to be multiplying the inverse by that. So while I'm here, I might as well enter C as well. So I'm going to edit my next one. Doesn't matter if your letters are different than mine. Doesn't matter. You just need to know what your letters are for your matrices. So, all right, so I'm going to enter. It's a 2 by 1. I did this yesterday, and I wasn't getting the right answer, and I was so mad, and what I had ended up doing was I had not put in -11. I'd put +11 in. So always, always check that you're entering your numbers correctly before you exit the screen, okay? All right, so now we have these two matrices in here. Now we're going to do the math. Ready? Go back to quit, clear your screen. Now I'm going to tell the calculator I want to take the inverse of A and I want to multiply it by B, don't I? Right, or C, here. So I'm going to take the inverse of A and I'm going to multiply it by C. And then I'll be done. Calculator will do it for me. So I don't know what letters you had yours in, but you want to take the inverse of this one, whatever you had it entered as. So I'm going to enter A. I want to choose, oh, sorry, mine is B. I'm going to take the inverse of that. It's this one, right? Whatever letter you had yours in, and I'm going to multiply it. Mine was C. I don't know what letter yours was. Mine was C. Ready? It's so exciting. Oh, look at it. There it is. There's the solution. 4, negative 1.
The inverse of A is negative 1 over 17.
So the solution is this. 4, negative 1. This is X. This is Y. So you could set it up as an ordered pair. And then the second equation would be 2x, and I just simply got these right from the story problem. I'm not making anything up. It's directly from the story problem. But you're going to do it all on the calculator. You don't have to do it by hand. So my first matrix is going to be the coefficient matrix. The first matrix is just going to be the coefficients, so it's the numbers in front. 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, 3, 3. That's the coefficient matrix. Then I write the variable matrix, x, y, and z. And then I write the constant matrix. I'm going to label that as B. Doesn't really matter what you label it as. Okay, all you have to do for a problem like this is throw it on the calculator. So again, to solve this, you would have to take the inverse of this and multiply by this, correct? The inverse of this and multiply by this. So I would take the inverse of this and multiply by that, and this is what I would get. $20, $15, and $10. And what does that tell me about the story problem? What does that tell me? What am I finding here? What I'm saying on the test, you don't have to do this by hand.
Well, you know those elimination problems that we had earlier?
With the 3 variables and 3 equations? Exactly. That's what the purpose of matrices all was, leading up to this. It's much easier. That's why we learned how to do it. It's much easier. Look, here's the deal with the homework. You have to do enough to feel comfortable. Do some without the calculator. Like for the inverses, only do 2 by 2. Okay? If they're bigger than that, do them on the calculator. And I wrote here, practice 2 by 2 by hand. I am here every lunch period if you guys need to come in. Let's talk about the review packet. The only reason I handed it out today is because some people are going to be gone tomorrow.